When you're choosing where to build your green home, take a moment to think about the hidden costs, the ones that are over and above the actual purchase price, like fees for permits, surveying, utility hookups, taxes, and title insurance. You should also consider another type of hidden cost, one that doesn't involve money, but does involve everything else. Choosing the site for a green home is just like choosing a site for any other home, except you also consider how building and living in the home will affect your health and that of the natural environment. When you're evaluating a site, start by asking yourself these questions. What's the climate like in this area? Is it generally hot, cold, windy, rainy? Are there flash floods, mudslides, windstorms? The climate is part of the environment, which affects how you design and build your house, which in turn affects how you affect the environment. For example, if you're building in a hot, sunny climate, you can use design methods to keep the home cool, so you save on the cost of running an air conditioner. Next, take time to scope out the land and the area around it. Ask questions. Don't be shy. Talk with your real estate agent, current owner, neighbors, check online, and contact the local building department if necessary. Walk around the property. Get a feel for the land. Draw a rough map. Take notes. Are there prominent features that you could use in your design, or that could get in the way? Big trees, rocks, holes. Are there any existing easements or structures, such as roads, utility rights-of-way, paths, sheds, or other things you should know about? Think about a driveway. Is the property landlocked? How will you and construction vehicles access the site? You need to factor in the cost of an easement through adjacent properties. Drainage is important. In fact, it can be a deal killer. Ideally, water should flow away from the land. Note how the land slopes, and look for stream beds or gullies. Do you see any signs of flooding or erosion? It's also a good idea to understand how porous the soil is, how quickly it soaks up water, especially if you'll need a septic system. And what about water? Will you need to dig a well? If you see evidence of a wetland on or near the property, you'll need to do some research to see if it's environmentally sensitive. The EPA restricts human activity that could harm the ecological balance of those areas, so it could be difficult and very expensive to build near there. What about neighbors? Who or what is adjacent to or near the property? Think about how neighboring homes, structures, or businesses may affect your design or construction. Is the land adjacent to a farm or factory? Does water from neighboring properties flow over the site? After you have a fairly complete picture of the site, you can do some homework. Before purchasing the land, you should know about any zoning restrictions, unusual local building codes, and if there are neighborhood restrictions or CC&Rs. A lot of this information can be found online. Learn about local EPA and government restrictions, shoreline management and setbacks, which could specify how close to something you can build. Are there local rules to protect animal habitats? What about nearby hazardous waste dumps or Superfund sites? Could the soil have been contaminated by a previous owner, who stored rusty barrels of used oil there, for instance? While you're at it, you might check to see if there are any nearby archaeological digs or ancient burial grounds. Any one of these things can impact your budget, even stop construction for years. But after you've done all the research, you can start having some fun. Think about how you feel about the property and how your home would look on it. How it would fit in with the natural features of the land. How would you position it for the best view and to have the least impact on the environment, the air, water, trees, and animals? Think about the shape and slope of the land. Rather than spend a lot of money to flatten everything, your green home can take advantage of the property's unique features. Build around the shapes. Use the slope of the land to create multiple levels. Ask yourself, are you adding to the natural beauty of the environment or taking it away? Before you purchase the land, it might be a good idea to find a designer or architect who not only knows how to build green homes, but is passionate about the environment. With a green design, you look for ways to minimize the size of a home. Build only what you really need with room to expand later. This approach not only costs less and reduces building time, it uses fewer natural resources, produces less waste, and the final product uses less energy. Urban sprawl is caused by people taking more land than they need. It not only destroys natural areas unnecessarily, it increases driving time, freeway congestion, and greenhouse gases. Your green designer will also know how to build a home that meets government and community restrictions. For example, they'll know about engineering requirements for drainage and access requirements for fire and emergency vehicles. If the site is governed by covenants, they'll also factor in height and size restrictions, allowable site coverage, and things like the maximum allowable impervious surface. By the time you start construction, all the details should be worked out, so building can move forward efficiently. You will also know how water, sewer, and other utilities will be handled. If you need a septic system, you will have run a perk test. If you need well water, you'll have located the best place to drill. Site work also entails surveying, building a road to access the job site, clearing brush, trees and junk, digging utility trenches, and digging the foundation. You would do all these things regardless of the type of home you're building. The difference with building a green home is that you strive to minimize the effect on the environment by saving trees and protecting green spaces and streams, staying away from wetlands, and properly disposing waste. Ask yourself, how will my actions affect my health, the health of others, and that of the natural environment? How can I minimize my carbon footprint? Do I really need a fireplace, a 3-car garage, and extra bedrooms? What about my driving distance to work, shopping, schools? Am I close enough to walk or ride a bike? Or am I just adding to urban sprawl? Regardless of what type of home you're building, bring in your green builder early to talk about your plans and ideas before purchasing your land. The more you know about the process, the better chance your green home will meet your needs and be a natural addition to the world around you.